Dwayne Johnson confirms Hobbs Shaw 2 is in development. That is the headline on this Wednesday's MBE Movie News. And yes guys, as I did say, I said this Wednesday, not a good start. There is only one movie news show on our channel now, every week, so it's this week's MBE Movie News. But as I did say, Digital Spy are reporting that Dwayne Johnson has indeed confirmed that there is a second Hobbs Shaw movie in development, in pre-development, very early pre-development that is. He did a question and answer session with Instagram over the weekend, and he confirmed that the 2019 Fast and Furious spin-off movie will get its very own sequel. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who lives anywhere in the world. It is a humongous franchise, the Fast and Furious franchise, and whilst it didn't make unbelievable amounts of money, Hobbs & Shaw, it certainly made a decent wedge for the studio, and that's despite the likes of Tyrese Gibson slagging it off. It made decent money, so I'm not surprised to see that it is getting a sequel. He says himself that we are developing now the next film, the next Hobbs & Shaw movie, and I'm pretty excited about it. We just got to figure out the creative right now and the direction we are going to go. Now look, it's very short and sweet in terms of quotes. I think he did actually go on and say further to this that it became clear that it won't be possible for no, he's actually talking about Fast and Furious 9 there. We don't care about Fast and Furious 9 at the moment. I'm not speaking about that. That's in the can. That's a tangible, real thing, and that will be coming out after the whole coronavirus shenanigans disappears. No, I will focus more on the whole Hobbs & Shaw sequel thing, and why I think this is perhaps a good idea. Look, I really enjoyed the first movie. It surprised me. I was enthralled by the initial trailers. I liked the mismatched buddy comedy element. I've been a big fan of guys like Robert Redford and Paul Newman, going way back to the likes of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and obviously you've got the likes of Starsky and Hutch and whatnot. I like mismatched buddy comedy movies, mismatched buddy movies, period. So I was right up for this movie from the very get-go. But look, there was always an element of, can they pull it off? It is a sequel to a huge franchise. Will it be overshadowed? Will they handle it correctly? Will the characters come off correctly? Well, I thought they handled it pretty damn well. If I was to have one criticism, it would be that the Idris Elba villain was a little bit toothless, a little lacklustre, and for you to do that to a guy of Idris's incredible acting ability and talent, I thought that was a crime against humanity. But look, all in all, the movie was fantastic. It had great humour. The chemistry between these two guys was off the charts, and that's why I'm excited for this potential sequel, because armed with the knowledge of how good that first movie was for me, I can't see them doing anything but successful movies in the future with these two guys. I could see this being a sort of 21st century Starsky and Hutch, a 21st century Redford and Newman style collaboration between two really good acting, two good action actors in obviously Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, and I think these two guys can make magic happen going forward into numerous Hobbs & Shaw sequels. Whether that's something that the studio wants to see happen, whether they want to perhaps dip their toes into another sequel to the spin-off and then perhaps just get back to the tried and tested Fast and Furious franchise. Perhaps we'll have other sequels and spin-offs in mind with perhaps Vin Diesel and whatnot. Lord knows, I don't know what the plans are, but I'm excited for this. I think these two guys are great together. I think the chemistry is palpable, as I did say, and depending on how they can fit this into this established universe, what they can do with the story, what they can do with the characters, you don't want to keep retreading old ground and ending up like a police academy setup where it's just the same story, regurgitated, vomited up time and time again. As long as they can avoid that and they can give us a better antagonist than what Idris Elba, poor old Idris, had to deal with, then I'm sure it could be even better, even bigger than the first movie, because people know what it's about now. They know that the characters work, and that they'll probably go out and be more enthused about giving over the hard-earned cash to go and watch this movie. But look guys, I am done speaking about it. It was a short and sweet little headline. That will be a recurring theme on this week's movie news, because there's not a lot of movie news out there. it's just dominated by dull, depressing, turgid coronavirus delays and news about people dying, and I don't want to get bogged down with that, so I've tried to pick out specific topics that I find relatively interesting and that I want to share my views on, because that's what this is all about after all. So, next topic's coming in from Screen Rant. That certainly fits that template. I like it. I like the news. Well, I don't like the news in this case, but I'm going to give my views on why I don't like the news. So it fits into what I was talking about. This one's all about Solo 2 not being in development for Disney Plus or any means whatsoever, and that's coming from the co-writer of the first Solo movie, of course, Lawrence Kasdan's son, John Kasdan, a man who's wrote many a movie now, I want to say. And he was speaking or replying to someone on Twitter who merely asked if they get any updates on Solo being a sequel maybe happening, or they asked about Indiana Jones 5 as well, and he replied with, "I don't think anyone's pursuing a Solo sequel at the moment. I think a feature at this point would be a tough sell." I disagree with that, and I'll get onto that in a moment. And the Disney Plus Star Wars slate is really pretty stacked. All shows I'm looking forward to. My work on Indy is long over, but I'm excited there's forward movement. Now, he may be right, he is right when he says that the slate is stacked for Disney Plus in terms of TV shows. We of course have The Mandalorian Season 2, already in the midst of filming. I think they've had to delay it because of the coronavirus, but they're way into that. That's potentially coming out early next year now, I'd presume, not late this year, as was originally envisaged. Then you have the Cassian Andor series, and then later after that, or perhaps before that, depending on how far along we are with these rejinkings of the script and whatnot, you will have the Obi-Wan series as well. So in terms of TV shows, the Disney Plus thing is pretty packed. But that's not what the guy was asking. He was asking on a Solo sequel. He'd never at any point suggested a TV show, which actually I think would work. But I'll get into that, I suppose, in a couple of moments too. But that doesn't leave the door shut on a potential movie made for straight to Disney Plus happening. Now, I know that Bob Iger spoke about this many moons ago, probably about a year ago in actual fact, and he says that there would be no sort of Star Wars movies made specifically for Disney Plus because it was too big a brand, and he wanted to keep that aura about it and maintain feature-length movies being designed for cinema-going experience specifically. So yeah, I can see why that probably won't happen, but in my mind I'm thinking it should happen because there's so much potential with these characters. I know it didn't make the money it should have made. I know there was a lot of trouble behind the scenes with Lord and Miller, and I can understand why there's perhaps this comment coming out of a name like John Kasdan where he says that it'd be a hard sell, but for me it shouldn't be a hard sell. If you're a Star Wars fan and you watch this movie, you would understand that there was some redeeming elements in there. I thought Alden Ehrenreich was pretty damn good as Han Solo, a younger version. Was he perfect? Was he Harrison Ford? No, but he was decent. And I thought Donald Glover was charismatic and extremely talented as ever as a young Lando Calrissian. And then you also had the likes of Emilia Clarke in there as Kira. And you had, God, what's her name again? I always forget her name. The one that does the amazing TV show. She wins Golden Globes all the time. It's annoying me. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She was pretty damn good as well. Although she died, of course, she was a droid, so she couldn't come back. Woody Harrelson was in there, and then he died as well, so he couldn't come back. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you know what I mean. There was redeeming factors in that movie, and there was certainly enough meat to these characters to future movies if they wanted to go down that road, which sadly it looks like they aren't. First and foremost, the Crimson Dawn, I want to say, are tied to that criminal organisation with Darth Maul and Kira flip-flopping. Is she bad? Is she good? This growing relationship or failing relationship with Han Solo. They could have expanded these characters out. We could have followed Lando, and I think this would have probably been better suited to a TV show, but certainly I wouldn't have been adverse to seeing another movie being made in this universe, in this prequel universe with these characters and these actors. But sadly it doesn't look like it's going to happen, and I'm quite slightly disappointed about that. I think there's still time for them to do it. I suppose they could do it in the next couple of years, but it's a shame that we're not going to see Alden Ehrenreich and Donald Glover and Emilia Clarke back, and your man who plays Darth Maul. Well, he doesn't. He plays him in physical form, but he doesn't voice him. That was text from Alan Partridge. But look, it is what it is. Time will tell, and we'll see what happens. It could happen, it might not happen. It is what it is. I'll move on swiftly to the next topic. This is going to be very short indeed, but I can't ignore an act of selflessness like this from a purported selfish individual. Some people like to do down on Bob Iger, but the man has shown his class here. This is an article coming in from Cinema Blend, and it's all about one Bob Iger and a whole array of other Walt Disney executives foregoing their wages, taking massive cuts in their salary to help out some of the lesser well-off employees of the company, and to help reduce, obviously, the running costs of the company during this coronavirus pandemic. Bob Iger is actually still continuing on in his role as the company's chief executive, but he is foregoing 100% of his salary to help shoulder the burden. And it was sent out. It was an email sent out to Disney executives, and they're all doing the same thing. They are taking cuts of 50% and 20%, 25%. And look, I just think this is a remarkable show of empathy towards the other employees in the company, and it just shows you the real class of Bob Iger, a guy who's referred to as Uncle Bob in and around Hollywood. Yes, he's made some poor decisions over the years, he's maybe ruffled a couple of feathers, but I think in the main, as we spoke about when the news of him stepping down as Disney CEO broke, I think he has done overwhelmingly positive things in the business for Disney, and just as a whole for fandom. He brought Pixar into Disney, he brought Marvel in, brought Star Wars in. Some people would disagree with that being a good move. I'm meh about it. But overall, I think he's a great guy, and I think this just shows the real character that the man has. And this is something we've seen happening across the board. I'm pretty damn sure there was some guy who was part of a picture chain, theatre chain, took a cut as well in his wages. And we're seeing it with sports teams, likes of Cristiano Ronaldo donating all of his hotels, taking an 80% cut on his wages and whatnot. And I just think when humanity reaches points like this, and we are in the deepest, darkest recesses, some people show their true colours. Some people show themselves to be complete and utter shits, and others show themselves to be remarkable individuals who really step up when it's required. And good old Bob Iger has certainly done that here. So look, hats off to him. But look, I'm going to move on. I've not got much more to add on that very, very short and sweet topic. Next one's coming in from MovieWeb. It's all about Sony this time, and their upcoming villainous Spider-Man spin-off movie Venom 2. They are saying it could still be coming to movie theatres this fall 2020, or autumn if you're from Europe and the United Kingdom. And they have says that, and they have, I think they've not said so much, but they are basing this off of news of Sony moving various release dates around. I think they have cancelled the vast majority of their release dates for 2020. They're pushing them back to 2021. That has ramifications for the likes of Tom Holland's The Uncharted movie, which is now being pushed to 2021 or 2022. I don't know, but yeah, the point I'm making is they have not yet pushed Venom 2 into next year. It is still firmly in that release slot for 2020, late 2020 I want to say, October 22nd to be precise. And look, what do I make of this? Do I think this is a potential? Well, actually I do. Unlike many of the other movies which have been delayed, and it's a slightly indefinite period that we're encountering here. We don't know whether it's going to happen, whether it's not going to happen. I think October is a really realistic date for this whole coronavirus shenanigans to blow over. I think we could be looking at maybe September time before we're really over the hurdle, at least the initial hurdle anyway. Certainly what medical experts and whatnot are suggesting, peaking round about the next month or so in most of Europe. I don't know about the US, it should be summertime at the latest, then it'll dip off. So this could leave us with the likes of No Time to Die coming out in its delayed spot, the likes of Kong vs Godzilla coming out, the likes of a late Black Widow, maybe even getting Eternals pushed back to a slightly later slot, and then of course Venom 2 coming out. And I would be excited for that, because I really enjoyed Venom. I really enjoyed Tom Hardy's portrayal as Eddie Brock. I liked Riz Ahmed in there as well. I just thought it was a cool little movie of two halves. It surprised me greatly. The character study in the first half, introducing us to Eddie Brock, and then the symbiotic relationship he shares with Venom. And then in the second half, it was very action heavy, and it was a balls to the wall action movie with comic book elements flung in there. I enjoyed the way they handled it, and it really did set the tone for where they are going moving forward in this Sony villain universe. And then we have, of course, got Venom 2 put into production. We have got the great Andy Serkis directing it, and I heard great stories about him working with all of the actors, but apparently in particular his relationship with Tom Hardy was supposed to be fantastic. They were bouncing ideas off of each other. He's a real actor's director, and just got me excited even more about this movie. And that's before you even start touching on Woody Harrelson and his Catus, I can never say that movie, Cassidy character, this villain. I love Woody, he's just a fantastic actor. I've not seen him in many bad movies, let alone a bad movie. He's a chameleon, he can play multiple different characters, and I would love to see, and I'm going to see, of course, hopefully, what he brings to this villainous role in Venom 2. I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see the movie, what they've got in place here, where they're going with this, how they're expanding it out. It's going to connect with Morbius, with other villainous Spider-Man characters. Sky's the limit here if they get it right. You then look at the rest of the cast though, and you have got the likes of Naomi Harris in there, who's just a fantastic actor as well, and of course Stephen Graham, another magnificent tour de force actor, who of course played a shining part in last year's The Irishman. He's been in a whole host of movies. He was in Hellboy as well, and he was pretty humorous in that. He's another guy who's a chameleon. Be very intrigued to see what the hell he's going to be playing. And Michelle Williams is coming back too, another truly brilliant actress. So we have a fantastic cast, we have a wonderful director. Hopefully the story's ripe, and hopefully we get it later this year, and it gives us a little lift post-coronavirus. We can really get our teeth into some fantastic goddamn movies, man. But look, I'm going to move on to the final topic. This one's a very strange little topic, and it left me slightly befuddled, I can't lie. Not because of the actual meat and bones of the story, but just how it's going to manifest itself. This is all about Space Jam 2. It's coming from MovieWeb again, and it's about Don Cheadle, War Machine himself. He is apparently going to be playing the villain in Space Jam 2. This was revealed by none other than, I want to say, Ryan Coogler. No, it was Paul Scheer. He revealed in an interview or a podcast with Clip City that Don Cheadle, who I do Black Monday with, he's the bad guy in Space Jam. And he said Space Jam 2, not Space Jam, blasphemous. And he said LeBron's really great. He was great in Trainwreck 2. He then went on, I think, to further expand on what the hell was happening, but I'm not going to get bogged down with that. I'm going to get bogged down with the fact that Don Cheadle was playing the villain in Space Jam 2. That has increased my intrigue furthermore. I actually spoke about this movie not long ago. It was the head animator, a man who is of real golden status when it comes to Disney and their classic productions. I think he worked in an array of classic animated cartoons and whatnot, and the fact that he was using the old school drawing animation, that they are going to be going for that Space Jam style animation technique. It isn't going to be more modern Pixar type things, and that intrigued me as well. Although I did say that, as an aside to that, I wasn't entirely sure that they could top the Michael Jeffrey Jordan version from the late 90s, I want to say, because that is just a movie which has a fond place in my childhood. I watched it many times. I loved that movie, and I love Michael. Even though I do have a Boston Celtics hat on, I actually have a Chicago Bulls hat as well. Michael has a place in my heart, so I don't know how LeBron could top that guy in that movie. But apparently he's fantastic, and look, he's a real talented chap, isn't he, LeBron James? Not just on the court, but off the court as well. He's in a similar vein to the late great Kobe Bryant, in that he has a real drive about him and entrepreneurship. He puts his fingers on things and they usually turn to gold. So I can imagine he's put in a pretty damn good performance, obviously aided and abetted by Don Cheadle, another truly wonderful, talented actor. A guy who I've loved all the way back to Hotel Rwanda. I want to say he was in. I'm pretty damn sure he was. I hope I've not screwed that up. He was magnificent in that movie, and I've been infatuated with that guy in terms of an acting tornado, hurricane since then. I don't even know what that meant, that last one. You can ignore that if you like. I would hope you would. And yeah, so this intrigues me, man. It really does. Don Cheadle is in Space Jam 2. They say that he could be playing the Danny DeVito role from the original. I would hope this isn't an out-and-out remake of the original movie. I hope that's not happening. So I would hope he isn't playing the alien manager like Danny DeVito. I think it's going to be voice work anyway. I'm pretty damn sure it will be voice work for Donny Boy. And yeah, I'm intrigued by this movie. That's all I can say. I can't say I'm excited yet. I need to see some word of mouth. I need to hear more about it. What they're doing, is it a reboot, a sequel, a quasi-sequel? Lord knows. But look guys, I'm done. I'm done. It's so much easier speaking about movies in terms of reviews and long-form discussion than it is talking about goddamn movie news. But look, what the hell did you guys make about Dwayne Johnson revealing that we are indeed getting a Hobbs Shaw sequel? Is that something you are excited about? Is it something you want to see? You can comment below and let me know what your thoughts are if it is. If it isn't, you can also comment. You can tell me as well what you think about Solo 2 not having a sequel or any form of furtherment in the pipeline. You can also speak about Disney executives, including Bob Iger, taking a pay cut. And what do you make about Venom 2? Will it come out this year? Will it not? Do you think Don Cheadle will be a good villain in Space Jam 2? You can comment below if you have anything to say at all. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed me gibbering away nonsensically for a good 20 odd minutes. And you can also subscribe to the channel too if you're enjoying the content. And if you do, then you will see me again tomorrow as me and Stephen break down potentially the Winter Soldier or perhaps Doctor Strange. We've not yet made our mind up, but we're doing retro reviews anyway. We'll see you then.